to reach an agreement. And we're pleased that we have made some progress on bereavement, disability, dental, and tuition reimbursement. But now the progress is being stalled because on the most important issues, the issues that affect our families and our future, management's proposals are woefully unacceptable. If we matter, then our wages must reflect the rising cost of living in Dane County. We are talking to co-workers whose rent have gone up 9% in a single year. One of the clearest ways that you can show appreciation is how you pay someone. If we matter, then our paid time off must reflect the reality of our jobs. We are lower paid workers, and when we lose income due to illness, we are impacted deeply. So aligning our PTO with our colleagues is about retention and respect. Service and support workers often work behind the scenes doing the unsung, unglamorous things that keep the hospital moving. Yet we are the people who struggle to afford gas, groceries, and the time we need to care for ourselves and our families, many having to live paycheck to paycheck and dealing with the uncertainty that that brings. Meanwhile, Unity Point Health executives make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and basically are telling us, the lowest paid members, that we must pay the cost of their living lifestyles through our sacrifices at the hospital. Does that seem fair to you? No. We are here to say today, no more. And while we struggle to feed and clothe ourselves and our families and keep our lights on, management's latest move is to say they will not move from their proposals. They are telling us basically to bargain with ourselves. And again, I ask you, does that seem fair to anyone here? No! So we're here today to say to Meritor, no more. We love the work we do. We care about our patients. We show up every day ready to serve. Now we are demanding that hospital leadership show up for us. So we are asking Meritor to hear us. Come to the table to negotiate, not dictate. Bargain in good faith. Give us the fair deal we have earned. And make no mistake about it, what we're asking for, you have not only earned, you deserve it as well. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Michael! So now this is one of my favorite parts in our speaking programs when we get to hear from our advocates and allies. So I'm going to call up some elected leaders who are not only here just because they're elected leaders, they're here because they are championing for working people, in particular for healthcare workers in Dane County. So we'll start it off. Give a warm welcome to Senator Kelda Royce.
Thank you, Louis. I'm so delighted to be here with all of you, but I gotta say, it's frustrating to be back at Meritor, fighting for workers' rights once again. Here we have a healthcare system that provides excellent, high-quality care to people in our community, to myself included. You know, I'm here because I was cared for when I gave birth to my first daughter in this hospital. I'm here because of the care that you helped provide for my grandmother when I was her primary caregiver in her last year of life. And I'm here for every single member of our community that gets high quality health care because of the work, the undercompensated, very difficult, and yet life-saving work that the lowest paid employees of this hospital make possible. Now, I just learned that this healthcare system spent about $6 million trying to fight off unionization of nurses in Iowa. What could $6 million do in this contract? You could probably fund it, fund the increases that are being asked for a decade or more. It is outrageous that in this country, we pay more per person for health care than any other developed nation, and yet we have the worst outcomes. And why is that? It's because we've made political choices again and again to put profit into our healthcare system, instead of saying this is about every single person, every patient getting the care that they need. Instead, we've created a system where those at the top can profit mightily by denying care and by exploiting workers. Now, I don't know how many beds you can fill at a hospital if the room doesn't get properly cleaned. I don't know how many people are going to go to a hospital for care if they get an infection because the room hasn't been sanitized. This hospital would stop in 1 hour if these workers were not able to do their jobs. And we should consider ourselves damn lucky that they are here in our community and willing to do this very, very important work to serve all of us, to help us get the health care that we need. And this community, which I am so lucky and privileged to represent as our state senator, and which I hope to represent as our governor, this community stands with workers every single time. I stood with workers during Act 10 as a member of the State Assembly. It was actually even colder than this when we had to move our desks outside when Walker and his ilk tried to shut down the Capitol. I grew up hearing from my union father how you never cross a picket line, you join it.
That's right. That's right.
You stand with workers. And in Wisconsin, we care about all of our workers. We want everyone to thrive. That's why I'm proud to have authored a living wage bill that raises the minimum wage to $15 immediately with a path to $20 over the next few years. And let me tell you something. Today in Wisconsin, in not one of our 72 counties, is $20 an hour a living wage today for a single person. So we are so far behind where we need to be, and especially for the lowest paid workers in our society that do the most important work, the essential work. They deserve a raise. They deserve dignity at work. And I don't just mean respectful treatment and safe workplaces and a voice in their workplace. They deserve to be heard and paid. And that happens at the bargaining table. So I call on Meritor. I call on this health system to do the right thing. Do the right thing for your patients. Do the right thing for this community. And do the right thing for your own operations, for your own bottom line, to pay the workers that make your profits possible.
Yeah. That's right.
Thank you very much for letting me be with you today and every day. I will always be proud to stand with you. Solidarity.
Give it up for Senator Senator Royce! 2 steps ahead. I know who Senator Royce is, and we're about to invite another champion for working people. Make some noise for Representative Francesca Hong.
Thank you so much, Louis. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm State Representative Francesca Hong. I proudly represent the 76th District here in Madison. And right now, I've got one word for management and the executives here. Shame. No worker should have to check their rights at the door before they go to work. And every single one of the workers here at Meritor, I know for a fact that they're not walking out the door and stop caring for the people that they have been working with and the people that they care for every single day. I'm a proud service industry worker. I know what it feels like to do a lot of the work behind the scenes that don't get valued, that you deserve so much more credit for. And I think that it is shameful that Meritor does not see and know that every worker here is essential.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
The fact that bonuses are being given to non-unionized worker, shameful.
That's very shameful.
The fact that the folks who are making some of the lowest wages, even though they absolutely deserve so much more than that, are not being recognized as essential, shameful.
Shame!
and the fact that the workers who not only care for the folks at the hospital, but they also care for one another. They care and they want dignity at work. And the fact that the executives, management are denying that, shameful. Dignity at work is a right. No one should have to check their rights at the door. I call on the executives, I call on management to do the right thing by your workers, for your workers. This hospital does not run without workers. Solidarity.
Give it up for Representative Hong. Now we need to make a really warm and loud welcome for a certified nursing assistant, one of our bargaining team members here at Meritor. Give it up for Amy Ward.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amy Ward, and I'm a CNA here at Meritor and a proud member of the Union and Bargaining Team Committee. Look at this incredible crowd. This is unity right here, guys. This is unity, not what they say. We are gathered here today because we are drawing a line in the sand, a hard line. As you've heard, we've been bargaining with Meritor since the middle of February, working hard for the contract that all the service and support members deserve. Recently, Meritor management has spent a lot of time sending messages to our members, trying to save their faces. And if you listen to Meritor, you would think the union members are the one obstructing the process at the table.
Shame!
The way Meritor tells it, there's a good deal on the table, and our members should just accept it. But we recognize Meritor's management's misleading communications for what they are. A transparent attempt to divide us and force us to settle for less than we deserve. The labor movement knows this divide and conquer tactic all too well, and we are not falling for it, Meritor. So let's talk about Meritor's good deal that they want us to accept. At the bargaining table, despite having some of the healthiest operations margins in the state, Meritor is demanding that we, the lowest paid workers at the hospital, accept less than what we received last contract. They are demanding that we accept smaller raises than what top paid Unity Point administrators receive. They are demanding that we accept less than what our RN colleagues fought for and won in their contract last year. And they are demanding that we settle for lower step increases that non-union employees received as special bonuses because the hospital is doing so well.
Shame!
And while the union has made winning 1 to 2 additional days of PTO for our service and support staff a top issue on our bargaining since day one, management is conveniently leaving out that they wanted to take it away from the part-time workers, something they already have. They want to take it away. So let me ask you, who is standing here and fighting for the best interests of Meritor's workers? Not them. Our union is fighting for our members, and we are holding the line so we get the best agreement possible. We are tired of being pushed around. There is only so much we can take. It's time for management to come to the table, ready to meet us at wages and PTO that we deserve, and stop their demanding that we simply accept what they have to offer. To management of Meritor Hospital, let this message be clear. We are done being pushed around. We are standing strong and united, and we are demanding what we are worth. We won't stop until we get the contract that we deserve and respects our work, our dedication, and our support to Meritor, the local community hospital. Thank you all.
Give it up for Amy! We have one more elected official. I'm so proud of our elected officials who are allies, who have not only showed up here today, but have showed up whether we were on strike, on the picket lines, but consistent advocates for our healthcare workers in this state. Make some noise for Representative Brown.
Hi, so I'm here because I come from a medical family. My mother was an emergency nurse and then a combat nurse in Vietnam, became a hospital administrator and a family nurse practitioner. And one of the things she always told me was you always take care of your staff. Always. So this isn't a partisan issue. This is a people issue. Every one of us, no matter our politics, our background, or where we come from, we rely on a hospital at some point in our lives. And when that moment comes, we all expect the same thing: safe, high-quality care delivered with dignity. That kind of care doesn't happen by itself. It happens because service and support workers show up every day, and they do the essential work that keeps this hospital running.
That's right.
You clean and sanitize rooms to prevent infection, you transport patients, you prepare meals, you maintain the systems that make care possible. You are not on the sidelines of patient care. You are at the very heart of it.
That's right.
And if you want strong hospitals, if we want strong hospitals, we need to invest in the people who make them work. That is something we should all be able to agree on.
That's right.
That's right.
Right now, Meritor is doing well financially. There have been strong operating margins, bonuses for non-union workers, and raises for executives. That tells us something important. This is not about whether or not resources exist. It's about how we use those resources. And asking the lowest paid workers to shoulder the burden of future uncertainty while others are rewarded sends the wrong message, not just to workers, but to patients and the community. We can do better than that. Fair wages for service and support workers means stability. Stability means lower turnover. And lower turnover means better, safer care for patients. That's not a political argument, that's just common sense.
Yeah.
And this is also about respect. Respect for the people who keep the hospital clean, safe, and running. Respect for the dignity of work. And respect for the idea that if you work hard in your community, you should be able to support yourself and your family.
That's right. Yeah. Right there.
So the path forward here is simple and reasonable. Come to the table, bargain in good faith, and recognize the value of the people who make this hospital work every single day. Because when workers are supported, patients are better cared for, and that's something every one of us has a stake in. To the workers here, what you're asking for is fair, it is grounded, and it reflects the values most people share, regardless of party. Stay steady, stay united, and know that building a stronger hospital is something we can and should do together. And to the business leaders and healthcare administrators who may be listening, this is a moment to lead, not just manage. Strong institutions are built by making smart, long-term investments in people. You understand risk, you understand sustainability. Underpaying essential workers creates instability that eventually shows up in staffing shortages, in burnout, in patient experience, and in your bottom line. The choice in front of you isn't just about this contract, it's about what kind of institution you want to run.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity here to set a standard, to show that this hospital values every layer of care, not just the most visible ones, to prove that financial success and fair treatment of workers goes hand in hand. So step forward, engage seriously, and help build the kind of hospital that workers are proud to serve in and that this entire community can trust. Solidarity.
Give it up for Representative Brown. Just going to do, before we go to one of our strongest nurse leaders here at Meritor, a quick acknowledgement. I see Representative Ryan Clancy here all the way from Milwaukee. Do we have any other electeds here? And I know we have many other unions and allies. I see AFSCME and others. And we'll hear from our president of the South Central Labor Federation, Kevin Gunlock, after Maddie. But I want you to give a super warm welcome for one of the strongest nurse leaders here at this hospital, Maddie Vanderhill.
Hello. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Maddie. I'm a postpartum nurse at Meritor. Before becoming an RN, I was part of the Service and Support Bargaining Unit as a CNA here. I stand here today not just as an individual nurse, but as a representative of my RN colleagues at Meritor, some of whom are here today with me, to stand in solidarity with our colleagues in the Service and Support Bargaining Unit. That solidarity is crucial because we are all on one team and we all rely on each other. The quality of patient care we can provide, whether you're an RN like me or a doctor or any provider, depends on the essential work that is performed by the service and support members. They are the backbone of this hospital. They keep our rooms clean, they transport our patients safely, and they ensure that our units run smoothly so we can focus on providing the best care possible. Their work is vital to every patient who walks through Meritor's doors. Last year, Meritor RNs had to take the difficult step of going on strike to win the contract we deserved. We know what it takes to stand up for ourselves and for our patients. And we know what a fair contract looks like because we've been through that fight. We know exactly what our service and support colleagues are going through right now, and we are here to support them completely. We are united in this struggle. So, to our service and support union brothers and sisters and siblings, don't back down. We've got your back today and every day until you get the respect and fair deal you deserve. We know your fight is our fight because investing in the lowest paid workers at this hospital is an investment in patient safety and in all of our working conditions. We are calling on Meritor management today. It is time to start bargaining in good faith. It is time to stop stalling and recognize the value of every single person who keeps this hospital running. Negotiate with the service and support members for the fair contract they have earned, one that truly invests in those who support all of us. The nurses, the doctors, the providers, and most importantly, our patients. We stand together and we will win together. Solidarity.
All right, give it up for Maddie. So I'm going to bring on a high energy speaker, one that represents a lot of thousands and thousands of union members across the south central part of our state. But I know he brings the energy. So before he does that, you guys get whipped into a frenzy. We're going to be disciplined and we're going to follow the rules. So we're going to stay on the public side of the property right now. And if you're on any grass, you'll move up and we'll get tight. We'll be friendly, shoulder to shoulder with each other. We will not be on the street. We'll be safe. But are you guys ready to make some noise? So give a very warm welcome to the president of the South Central Federation of Labor, Kevin Gunlock.
Man, I usually start low expectations, then you exceed them, okay? So, just kidding. I just want to say my name is Kevin Gunlock, president of the South Central Federation of Labor, AFL-CIO, and I want to explain who we are. We are a labor council that consists of both the public and private sector. And all of the unions, almost 100 of them, representing tens of thousands of workers and their families, stand with the workers here today. These are I'm going to go through it so people understand this, and Meritor understands. The workers understand here who's got your back. These are state workers who are here today, university workers. Right. These are city workers, county workers, school district employees. These are Madison College workers. These are industrial workers, factory workers. These are service sector workers. We even have some lawyers. We have plenty of service sector workers in other hospitals that stand here with you today. We have building and construction trades workers that stand with you. And there's one thing we do know, and I want Meritor to hear this, there's one thing we know, that when we are united, we stand together, right? When we are united, when we stand, we are divided, we end up begging. That's right. And it's through your union and the collective power, through your collective bargaining process, that we don't beg, we demand. So when I say, united we stand, you say, divided we beg. United we stand. Divided we beg. United we stand. Divided we beg. Now we'll say it all together so they hear it. United we stand. We'll say, united we stand. Divided we beg. One more time. United we stand. Divided we beg. That's right. And I just want to say, who are we at Meritor? And I checked into it because I happen to work and represent my previous job, I was a rank and file worker that worked alongside the workers similar here today. And they were the ones that mentored me about what union was about. CNAs, certified nursing aides, they're the ones that do the heavy lifting. They're the ones that do the charting. They're the ones that assist in every which way possible, and they do the work. They're skilled. Environmental services, housekeepers who sanitize and disinfect rooms before and after procedures and provide other housekeeping tasks throughout the hospital and make sure people are safe. Food and nutrition. These are cooks, diet aides. They're making sure our patients, visitors, co-workers are taking into account when it comes to allergies, dietary restrictions. They're delivering the food all over the hospital, and they got to go by state regulations. It's difficult. They got to be timely, quick. They have to make sure the food is heated, and again, sending it all around to make sure everything's safe and secure. There's biomedical technicians, there's OB technicians and operating room aides. They're the pre-surgery, some of these are the pre-surgery folks that make sure the instruments are clean, sterile, supplies are there, equipment is ready to go. Without these workers, this hospital doesn't function. There's physical therapy aides, and then there's facility operations, the mechanics and building maintenance workers. You know, without all of these workers, literally, the building doesn't function. That's right. So, this hospital would not run without these workers. The nurses and the doctors would tell me at the time when I worked there, they knew that. They said these workers are incredibly valuable. They knew how valuable they were. And wherever I go, including Meritor, they say the same thing. The hospital would not run without these workers. We know it, and so does Unity Point and Meritor administration. So how does Unity Point value our workers? Management is offering average annual increases of only 2.48%. Yeah, and this is important. Nurses did receive more, and they deserved it. Non-union workers have received bonuses. And we know Unity Point executives gave themselves a lot more. And what do we call that when you're giving some workers something and other workers not? It's called dividing and conquering. And not only is it insulting, it is union busting, which leads me to one of my favorite chants. What's disgusting? Union busting! Let's let them hear this. What's disgusting? Union busting! What's disgusting? Union busting! That's right. And workers are fighting for that special day as well. They're fighting for something more besides a wage increase that's not insulting. They're fighting for a community that recognizes a special day, MLK Day. Of all days in these times, we should be honoring MLK Day as a holiday for all workers. Yes. And it's a disgrace for Meritor not to. Yes. So let's stand together. Let's demand what we are worth. And I know the unions stand with you. I know our community stands with you. That's right. And unions in this union town will respect the picket line. We did before, and we'll do it again. We hope it doesn't get there, but we are there to stand with the workers from this day moving forward, every day before, of course, and we will continue to stand with the workers. One day longer. One day stronger. One day longer. One day stronger. One day longer. One day stronger. Solidarity, sisters and brothers and siblings.
All right, we're going to keep our chants going just for a little bit before we transition to the next phase of our program today. So when I say people, you say power. When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! When I say people, you say over profit. People! Over profit! People! Over profit! And this is the chant we're going to use to close this part out. Our members deserve, not only want, but they have earned a fair contract. So we're going to make that really crystal clear. What do we want? A fair contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? A fair contract! When do we want This is about dignity. This is about respect. This is about recognizing the people who make this hospital run. Unity Point has a choice. They can continue down the path of profit over people, or they can choose to invest in the workers who make this system possible. And let's be clear, our members are united, they are organized, and they're ready to win a contract that reflects their fair values. So as we wrap up, we're going to take this energy directly to the hospital. We're going to have our marshals mark off the areas. They'll go ahead and move out towards those areas that we have to stay in. For all of our members and allies that are able and willing to stay, as we leaflet and let visitors in the community know who are entering into the hospital. You'll see some flyers. We'll start to distribute those right now. So let's stay together. Let's stay organized. Let's stay disciplined so we don't give this hospital any excuse to distract, that we are demanding people over profit. People over profit. People over profit. Thank you.
All right, everyone, this is JT Cestkowski with Status Coup.
Oh, and just in making sure that this continues to happen, you all know there's an election coming up on April 7th, right? All right.
Oh. Whew. Sorry about that, everybody. I wasn't able to give you the proper introduction to what was happening out here before we had to just go live, but I know that we got tossed to from the coverage that Andrew Mercado, the incomparable Andrew Mercado, was offering for us up in Minneapolis. So hopefully he was able to set you up with a little bit of the scene of what was happening up here. If not, because Andrew might not be aware of what's happening on the ground here. Where I am is I am outside of Meriter Hospital, which is a hospital in Madison, Wisconsin, where the services and support staff workers, that's basically everybody who's not a doctor or a nurse inside this hospital, are right now in the midst of contract negotiations for their union, and they are putting pressure on management here to try and meet their demands at the bargaining table. This common story that we hear play out over and over again in labor fights across this country. That's why we're here today, is to show this as one example of what happens over and over again in labor fights across this country about the way that corporate privatized, in this case the healthcare system, has to be forced, kicking and screaming, to adequately pay their workers and give them access to adequate benefits. The other reason why we're here is that this hospital's nurses actually just last year went on strike, and at the time it was a rather big deal. It even made some minor headlines nationally after Bernie Sanders came out and endorsed this workers' strike and spoke in support of what the nurses out here were doing. So that's part of why we're out here today. It's also kind of an informal kickoff. I wanted to do this story as part of our War on Us tour that we are doing around the Midwest. I was hoping to start that tour next week, but then this event happened, and it kind of got, and there was also another interview that I just did out here, and I'll speak about that more in just a second. So we wanted to be out here telling the story, next week, but then this event happened, so this ends up becoming an unofficial launch to our Midwest tour, economic suffering tour, and injustice tour that we're doing here of the Midwest this spring. And sorry, there's a lot of shouting going on in the background, which is making it a little bit difficult for me to focus. But I want to say, we stay on the ground with these stories. We are going on the road, telling stories of people who are facing economic injustice or suffering at the hands of this administration as it wages, the Trump administration, the Trump regime, as it wages an illegal war of choice in the Middle East, another forever war for oil. What are the costs being inflicted on Americans here at home? Not only are American servicemen and women losing their lives overseas, but then, of course, that economic pain that we are suffering here, whether it's the gas prices, which I know that we're all seeing go up seemingly in real time. You'll be sitting there pumping gas and almost watching that price go up just as you're standing there. The price per gallon jump is how fast oil prices are moving these days, it seems. But then also, of course, all the knock-on effects from that. Because everything relies on gas to get to the store shelves that we rely on. Prices going up on just about everything right now. And all those billions of dollars that are being spent overseas, they're not being spent here at home to actually benefit workers here in the Madison, here in the U.S. I'm standing in Madison, so I want to say in the Madison area. But here in the U.S., we're not using those billions of dollars to, eliminate medical debt, to create an actual public healthcare system in this country, a single-payer system. We're not using those funds to guarantee universal child care. We're not using those funds for expanded education in this country. But there are some efforts to try and make that happen. Things like labor disputes, like what I'm profiling out here, these workers who are out here putting pressure, and I want to interview a couple of them here in just a minute. But I also came out here just before we went live. I was actually interviewing a candidate for governor here in the state of Wisconsin. We don't interview every politician. In fact, we interview pretty few of them here on Status Coup because there aren't many who seem to be the real deal and legit. But in this case, I was interviewing Francesca Hong, Representative Francesca Hong, a state representative who's running for governor and doing so as a socialist in the state of Wisconsin. And you might be saying, okay, how far is that really going to get? She's not, Zoran Mamdani in New York. Sure, that's a blue haven in New York. But what about Wisconsin, a state that just voted for Donald Trump? Well, Francesca Hong is currently leading in the polls here. And so actually, as soon as we're done with this live, I'm going to rush back and edit that interview to try and get it up on our channel. So if you're not, get subscribed so you can see that interview as soon as it does go live. I should also say that there is no other national press, independent or otherwise, doing a tour right now of the Midwest or of America more broadly, looking at the ways and telling the detailed stories that we're going to be telling of the way people are suffering economically right now. We're all distracted by the war. We're still covering the Epstein files, and we're still covering the economic suffering that the people here at home are dealing with. We are focused on these real issues, and we're not allowing ourselves to be distracted by the Trump administration. And we're doing so because we are supported by you, our members. People who go to statuscoup.com/join for low as $5 a month. Keep us doing this on the ground reporting and our accountability journalism that we believe is so crucial. And we're able to do that because we're not beholden to corporate donors here at Status Coup. So if you want to be a part of this mission, I recognize that me being outside covering a labor dispute outside of a hospital in Madison, Wisconsin is not going to be as eye-catching as when we're on the ground in Minneapolis being actively tear-gassed. But these stories are important nonetheless. I'm going to stand out here in the cold and the slight drizzle that's coming down now, reporting on this story even though we don't have as many people watching because we believe this stuff is important. And if you believe it too, or if you believe that there should be independent media in this country that is covering stories like this and always going on the ground, covering the stories that the corporate media is covering up, please go to statuscoup.com/join. We're only able to do this with your support. And if you are a member, fist bump. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. You're what allows me to do this work and be on the ground in the way that we are. So I'm going to try and find some of these workers to talk to right now. And we'll be back with you in just a minute. In fact, I see the guy who I had prearranged that I was going to speak to. So hold tight for me for just a minute, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Hey.
I haven't had a chance to snag you. You've been
It's
busy. So.
I stay busy, and just so you're aware, these microphones are live right now, so just whatever you say could be heard.
We have Michael and Yadi here.
Oh, fantastic! Hi. Yadi, nice to meet you. I'm JT. Oh, yeah, okay. Understood. Would you mind coming over by my camera over here?
Yeah. You want me to drop off my stuff?
It's up to you. You know, if you want to, you can set it right with my stuff underneath the camera. That's fine.
Let's tell the story. Let's tell the whole wide world it's Sicilian territory.
Yeah, go ahead and you can set that down right here underneath the camera.
Let's tell the whole wide
Got our worker joining us right now.
Sicilian
All right, I'm going to put this microphone on you. And you're probably going to have to speak up over all the yelling. So
Okay.
try to shout as much as you can, even with the microphone close, okay?
I do my
So
best.
I'll have you take a step this way and just put yourself in frame there. And
Do I
I'm going to
stand
tip
with my
the
hand
camera
down?
down a little bit.
I took it off? Okay. No, I didn't. Hold on.
Hey there!
Okay.
You can't hide!
Okay.
Do I look crazy?
All right, so I'm joined here with Yadi. Yadi, can I have you start just by say and spell your name for me, please?
Okay. My name is Yadi Smith, and that's spelled YADISMITH.
All right, Yadi. What is it that you do here at the hospital?
I am an assistant cook at this hospital.
Oh, what? I'm sorry?
Assistant cook?
Assistant cook.
Yeah,
Assistant cook. So how is your work important? I don't think it takes a genius to figure it out, but how is your work important to the daily operation of the hospital here today?
Well, you don't get to eat breakfast. No coffee, no breakfast, pancakes, eggs, you know, the works. You don't get your comfort meal without meat.
Why was it important for you to be out here today putting pressure on the hospital's management for a better deal for yourself and your fellow workers?
I haven't been here that long. I've only been here for 2 years. So I've been trying to, get my feet wet and, represent, because I love all the people that I work with. I mean, it's been a long 2 years, and people always ask me, how long have you been here? And I say 2 years, and they be like, it feels like longer, because I'm here all the time. I'm here every day. I enjoy the people that I work with, and I feel like this is the worst day of a person's life. They can at least have a meal, So I take pride in what I do here at the hospital. So I think I just like the community, and I like, helping as much as I can.
Yeah, and so I got to assume that as an assistant cook, you're not getting rich, right? Like, just describe to me right now what's what's it been like with gas prices going up, food getting more expensive? I mean, what's it been like to try and make ends meet right now?
It's been very hard. I mean, everybody's been going through it. I feel like everybody can feel how tight everything is being getting. I mean, penny pinching to, what you're going to eat the next day. And even like at the hospital, the food is a lot cheaper than me going out to go get groceries. And then my rent just went up. A lot of my coworkers tell me their rent has went up about 7% just in the last 2 months. It's hard to make ends meet and then save money and then overtime because we're always short. But then you get burned out. After I do like a week, you feel like you got hit by a truck. So you're always working, and then the money ain't adding up for how much you've been working and like how expensive living is, and it's only gonna get higher. So stakes is up right now. Stakes is up, and it's getting really a little scary.
You say it's getting a little scary. Like, what is it that? When is it that you feel that fear? Is it when you open the bills, or I mean, when was the last time you felt that that sense of being scared?
I mean, right now. Rent coming up right now, and it's kind of like I don't know how to access my check. I don't know how much I've made. I don't know if I need to go, do overtime or work right now. It's in a couple days, so it's always an up and a down. What can I splurge on here? What can I penny pinch here? What is my main goal just to get to the next month? Especially with groceries. Sometimes you have to eat here because you can't. It's cheaper to have an $8 meal than to go outside.
Pardon us, we're doing an interview right now on camera.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Sometimes, it's quicker to have an $8 meal here than to actually spend or drop $200 to $300 on groceries. And that's just some people by themselves, So I feel like us working here and us working together, and a little divide since COVID. There's not a sense of community. You can't go to your neighbor and be like, can I have a cup of sugar or butter or anything, they're gonna not answer the door.
Do you have a family that you're supporting off of this work? Is it just you?
It's me and my fiance, and I have roommates because I can't live by myself without a roommate. So yeah, my rent is a lot less than most people, but I can only imagine how bad it is now for people living by themselves. So that's why we're fighting for everybody in the hospital.
How do you get to work every day? Are you driving?
I drive to work every
Drive.
day.
So that means
recently, just to fill half of my gas tank was $30.
Was how much?
$30.
$30.
And it take me usually 45 to fill my whole gas tank. So right now, it's getting scary. It's getting scary.
And we're probably paying less here in Wisconsin than other states are. Like it's probably even more expensive. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how people in California or wherever it's more expensive right now are getting by.
I'm born and raised in California.
Oh, really? Okay.
I know California prices.
Yeah. So then, that's all happening because we're waging a war in the Middle East right now.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel to see the U.S. spending billions of dollars overseas all to increase your prices here at home?
It's very discouraging and very frustrating because you just want to go to work, you just want to pay bills, and you want to live your life too, and still have same value as somebody else down the street. Especially management, you'd want to feel just as much as a person as you would as management. If I see them down the street and they ask me for help, I'm gonna help, regardless of if I got it or not.
Do you think your management feels the same price pressures that you do to the same extent that you do?
No, me giving up, a couple bags of groceries is not them, possibly getting rid of their vacation house in Cabo or whatever.
When was the last time you took a vacation to Cabo?
I've never.
Yeah. Let me take a half step this way just because I noticed you're dropping out of frame a little bit.
Phasing out, yeah. But I don't know. I take my vacation yearly because I have to stack up and work all the time in order to do something like that.
So what's I was talking about like all this money that we're spending right now to wage a war overseas, and it's only making prices go up here. What's a way that money could be spent to actually benefit your life right now? How would you like to see your government investing in you?
I feel like the fastest way to get the government to do something is to do something where I work, my community.
Yeah.
And we gonna start slow and then move up higher. So I feel like getting others together to organize and to work can go from step to step. Or if I join the union at work, then I can join the union somewhere else. Or I can join, a team somewhere else outside of the hospital.
Had you worked a union job before this one?
Well, I'm from California, so all of the union stuff was already implemented. I never knew that other people were outside fighting for the little things that, had already been implemented for me. So for me to be able to, I wouldn't say take a step back, but take a step forward. For everybody, just like how it is in California, it's a big opportunity for me. It's hard for me to not be involved.
What's your message? It's only, right now union density in the United States is like 10% of workers are actually in a union right now. For people who aren't in a union, describe what you feel being surrounded by your fellow workers out here. What do you feel like you're getting out of this?
Before I worked here, I did work when I was in the union, and it was just like overtime all the time, or can you stay till 4? Can you stay till 5? And you're just working like a dog, and you don't know when you're gonna get off because they keep asking you to stay, and it's short, and there's nobody to fight for you. You feel like you don't have a voice. You feel like you don't have a community because people go to work, they get a paycheck, and then they go home. But here, I feel like I actually have a voice here, and there's other people who actually agree with me, and then us organizing is something that I've never been able to do before. So I think this message can transcend to other people who are scared to have that voice.
We've got you standing out here in the rain, so I won't keep you much longer. But I want to end with just what's the message you're looking to deliver to management here today?
We're not asking for much. We're just asking for a little more to make ends meet. So whatever we can get as a head, or just come to an agreement at the end of the day, that's all we're looking for. Nothing too much, nothing too little. Just keeping it cute and sweet,
Yeah, is there anything else about your personal experience or anything I should have asked you that I haven't that you want to share? Anything.
I would just say that we're doing our best, and help me help you, That's it. That's community. At the base end is just help me help you.
Well, You're brave being out here in the rain to do all this.
Hail, sleet, snow, wherever you need me, I'm gonna be.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll let you go.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was nice
I'm sorry,
to meet you as well.
Getting brought on your equipment and stuff.
Oh no! I mean, it's built to take this abuse.
Hey, people! Appreciate you standing in the rain.
Yeah, of course.
He's gonna have to go.
Yeah. Michael, if I could bring you in here.
Tell a story.
Thank you for doing this in the rain. I appreciate that. I'm going to put a microphone on you.
Okay.
And we'll get you in and out real quick.
All right.
So, Michael, I know you. I've actually interviewed you before when I was working at Channel 27. So,
Absolutely.
you were, but if I could have you start just to spell your name for me.
Michael, E-L-V-O-R-D.
Michael Elvord. What's your role with the union?
I am a member of the executive board, also the executive committee, and I'm the chair for the union bargaining team.
All right. So you're chair for the union bargaining team. What's the work that you do here at the hospital?
I'm in charge of taking care of the C-section operating rooms, pre and post surgical procedures.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is this is a major birthing hospital for the Madison area.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, just give me just give me the top demands. What is the union looking to win from the fight, from actions like this today? What are you hoping to get at the bargaining table?
Well, now because we've been in negotiations, the things that are sticking points are always PTO, your personal time off, and wages. It always comes down to wages, because what we are asking for and what they are proposing, there's such a disparity in that. So that's what our contract negotiations will probably consist of now, because we have settled a lot of things in the 3 weeks that we've been at it. So.
Okay. So then, what's the increase in wages that you're looking to secure?
Well, they are offering a 2.4, which is less than what we got last time.
Mm-hmm.
So we are right now negotiating. We'd like 3.2, 3.5. We'll see.
I mean, with 2.4, that's not even to keep up with the rate of inflation.
It will not.
Now.
It will not. And living in Dane County with the highest rate of rental prices, it's just not
state
acceptable.
Of Wisconsin,
it's just not acceptable. You can't. I'm a single person, and it's hard. I can imagine if you have a family and a couple kids.
Well, then you pile on top of that, what the war in Iran is doing to prices.
Absolutely.
Here, can you just talk about some of the places where you're seeing price increases, for yourself that make this fight for wages so important to you?
Yeah. Well, at the gas tank, for sure, gas station, food is, you have to pay attention to it. I've never really paid attention to grocery prices, but you do now. You have to, because it's just ridiculous how much they've gone up. And they're going to continue to go up soon and continue, because there's no end to, unfortunately, what's going on in the world right now, the decisions that are being made. So.
When you take a look at the world and those decisions that are being made, what's the emotions that come up in you?
Well, it's disheartening. It is. It's troublesome. It's just not a good time to try to be in a situation where you're negotiating fair wages for their lower paid workers. Mm-hmm. We're not asking for anything that's not fair and just. So
right now, just kind of keeping with that that eye that we're kind of. The war is having an impact on prices, which then informs what you're asking for at the negotiating table. So staying with that theme, right now, the administration is looking for $200 billion to try and fund this war. What's a way that, as you as a worker, that $200 billion, instead of being spent on a war overseas, how could it be spent on you, your fellow union members? What is something that the government should be providing workers like you to try and give you either more leverage at the bargaining table or just make your life easier? What would make a difference in your life?
Think about that figure. That's just crazy how much good could be done with that amount of money. One of our speakers today talked about Unity Point Health Meriter using $6 million to fight a union down in Iowa. How better spent, that money could be being here. They could give us raises and put money away for the next contract negotiation. So, but we will continue to fight. We will continue to keep a good attitude about it. I think some of their tactic is to just wear you down and get you disenfranchised. So, so we'll just keep going at it.
Do you feel worn down?
No.
I mean, clearly not. You're standing out here in the rain, so doing this fight.
When they try to do that, it just makes me more resolved and rejuvenated. So, and as a cheer, that's what I try to bring to. So, I unfortunately have to run.
You have to run
because I have another appointment at 3.
Well, I will let you get going, Michael. Thank you very much. Is there anything else I should have asked you that I haven't?
No, I just think that we're at a point now in our negotiations that we hope that they come back to the table in a week or so. Hopefully we'll be negotiating next week, but if so, we'll start to escalate.
I should ask you before I go, just because the nurses here went on strike last year. Are you holding open that strike threat here for this round of negotiations?
That it doesn't get to that, but we will escalate. Have more and more events like this if needed be. We're hoping that it doesn't get to that.
Good luck in negotiations. I'll let you get going to the appointment. Thank you, man. I really appreciate the time as always. Steal that microphone back. Yeah. Thanks very much. So it's waterlogged now. Whew. We are absolutely soaked out here. Rain's coming down much stronger than it was supposed to out here today. So I'm not even particularly well dressed for the environment. Neither is my camera equipment. And as soon as we're done here, my boss Jordan is going to text me and say, "We really need to get you rain gear for your camera." And yeah, we do. But I mean, this is the kind of dedication that we have to this work, right? That I'm willing to stand out here and get absolutely soaked like this to be able to lift up the voices of workers doing this, pushing for their own, benefits, better pay, for their own economic conditions, because their elected officials won't look out for them and the corporate press won't cover the conditions that they are. I used to work as a local TV reporter here in Madison, Wisconsin, where I covered labor. And it wasn't because I was assigned to labor, it was because I made that my beat, because I decided that it was important. So aside from being a little bit of a homecoming for me to do this story right now, I also just want to point out there's no other press out here, not even local press. It's just Status Coup and the Midas Touch Network, our partners, that are lifting up these stories because corporate media is falling down on the job. They're laying off reporters, and even when they do cover stories, they do so from an avowedly pro-corporate or pro-administration stance, or at least try to carry the water for Republicans in the administration, trying to both sides every issue in a way that is frankly disgusting to me as a reporter. And I want to stand for something principled, and I'm allowed to do that here at Status Coup. And we're only able to do that with your support. So if me getting absolutely soaked out here in the surprisingly cold late March day here in Wisconsin if that kind of work is important to you, or you value the work that I'm doing here and my dedication to this job, please go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5 a month. You go to help me afford rain gear for my camera, and maybe a raincoat for me, though that's just my own bad planning. I have one at home and I should have brought it. But yeah, we're always eternally grateful, and we are going on the road. We are going on the road here shortly for our reporting on economic justice here, our War on Us tour that we're doing here at Status Coup around the Midwest. If you have a story idea for us, please email it to info@statuscoup.com so that I can follow up on it and maybe meet with you and interview you about it. Please reach out to us. I'd greatly appreciate it. And like I said earlier today, I did an interview with Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong, a socialist who is winning right now, according to the polling, winning the Democratic primary for governor here in Wisconsin, that just voted for Donald Trump in the presidential election back in 2024. So that interview will be going live shortly. I'm going to try and get it up today, so get subscribed if you are not. And I'm going to call this to an end because I'm getting soaked, and so is all of my camera equipment. So thank you for being with us. Stay safe, everybody. Good night.